Welcome to the crossroads of dreams and wisdom, where ambition dances with the soul. You're listening to The Balanced Visionary, aligning ambition with soulful success. I'm Jen, your guide on this journey of self-discovery and achievement. Each week, we'll explore the paths of personal growth, spiritual depth, and professional triumphs. Together, we'll unearth the secret to a life where success is not just what we achieve, but how we thrive. So visionaries, are you ready to transform your ambitions into a journey of the heart? Let's embark on this adventure together. All right, welcome back to another episode of The Balanced Visionary. I have a special guest today I'm so excited to have. This is a woman who has really impacted my life and is one of my most valuable members or mentors that I ever signed up for at the very beginning of my journey. Her name is Vanessa. She is the founder of Take Your Power Back Now, which is a 7-figure women's empowerment company, and is also the title of her #1 best-selling book, which I highly recommend everyone go get. I have a copy. She has another copy that she wrote too. So definitely check that out. But she has been impacting women's lives for a long time. You've been doing this journey for a very long time, since everything that I have followed. She has a wealth of wisdom to share with us. If anybody is someone who's very knowledgeable about balancing your life in all areas, this is the woman to talk to. She has been featured on Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, and the Huffington Post. She has a successful business. You also do other entrepreneurial things. She's a world of information, and I can't wait to see what we dive into today. Thank you, Vanessa, for coming on the show, and I'm going to pass it over to you for you to just kind of give a little background of your story and what brought you here.
Oh, thank you, Jen. So rad to be here with you and sharing. I mean, how did I get started as an entrepreneur? Failure, like most people. Let's real talk, I went bankrupt in 2006 because I didn't know anything about sales and marketing. Then I started getting a law of attraction, and I decided I wanted to become a speaker and make $1,000 a week and live in Hawaii. And I manifested this job selling mops and lint removers. And then I became the best salesperson for that company. And I did move to Hawaii. That was my first time there in 2007. And I wrote the book, From Bankrupt to Making $900 a Day Selling Mops, teaching others.
Another excellent book.
That was my first book. It was a long time ago, but it was really good, about like how the art of engagement and the law of attraction. And that's really been the foundation of all of my work throughout the last 15 years with spiritual women entrepreneurs like yourself. You came through the 10K and 30-day program, which is really about mindset and manifesting and sales, and owning our value and packaging our worth and not being afraid to brag about, how awesome we are, and just giving women kind of simple tools to get visible. After that book, I kind of ran around with it for a couple of years because it was a safe story to tell, right? Like, oh, a little bankrupt girl from Canada makes $900 a day selling mops, and I invested everything I was making into all these. How do I have a business online that creates me freedom? I don't want to work for somebody else for the rest of my life. And then I had another story that kind of emerged that nearly killed me this guy nearly killed me in a hotel room one night, which is just a crazy drama story. And when I got out of the hotel room and I got in a taxi, I was like, God, why is this happening to me? And the answer was this big booming voice. So you can help women not fall into the same patterns. I was like, hell no. For years, I was like, please, God, show me my purpose. I surrender. I will do it. And when the answer finally came, I was like, no, man, I don't want to talk about addiction. I don't want to talk about, emotional
Mm-hmm.
abuse. No, I'm just going to run around with this safe from bankrupt to $900 a day selling mops book. Well, that Take Your Power Back Now book launched a global movement. It was much bigger than anything I had ever could ever imagine. And my work has been featured on Fox and ABC and CBS television, and that's all great. Millions of dollars in sales, thousands of women's lives transformed. I mean, it's incredible what happens when we get out of our own way.
And you
And
still teach me on just to chime on that. So I enrolled in 2019, right before COVID and everything happened. And I had been doing some of my spiritual work, like I had a divine experience a year and a half prior to that. Your enrolling in that is one of the most transformational programs I still have invested in to this day. I still go back, and it's not the techie stuff. It's not, how to do all this, the sales. It does come in hand, but your mindset, the valuing your worth, is still something that I continue to work on it. And your voice comes in my head, and I'm like, okay, yes, I have to own my power. I got to break through this, the manifesting. That's been the most transformational. And I got to witness it, not just for me, but your testament to the other women in the group as well, both future students, past students. You've impacted so many lives.
it's in, thank you. And Jen's referring to the I'm a Conscious Creator process, which is actually a course that, I mean, people had to pay $10,000 or $40,000 to join my year-long mastermind bikini business coach. Come rock your portable, profitable business in a bikini with me and fly off to, beautiful mansions and sit by the pool and work on your mindset and your marketing. So I decided to take that mindset course, that I'm a Conscious Creator process, and put it into its own thing for people to be able to purchase, because it's life transforming. And it's the number one reason why so many women who have struggled in all these other courses before, never made sales, came in
Mm-hmm.
and were like, I made $40,000, $24,000 my first month. I made my first $8,000 sale. Oh my God. I love helping women make a shit ton of money. I love it. I don't think there's a better, like, I love celebrating women taking their power back now, overcoming fear and thriving. I love it. I launched my company. I started sharing the story I never wanted to tell.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really very important piece, because if you're a coach, consultant, healer, okay, expert, leader, whatever you want to call yourself, and you're looking to have these really deep connections with people that are going to become your clients, well, they're not going to invest in you if they don't even know you. Like, how does that connection come from? It comes from sharing the story we never want to tell. And really, like, I always say, God puts you in a pile of shit. How you get out becomes your message to the world.
Yes. I
Okay,
have
so
many conversations with the creator on this.
right, and we
Forged
always,
through fire.
yeah, and we always have an opportunity and a choice to, like, wow, that sucked. That was really hard. Let me just burp, fart, digest that, and it's all for a higher divine. Are we looking at life through? Are we taking this decision through the divinity, or is it my humanity making this choice? That's one of Debbie Ford's questions. I got into her book recently. So good. I got to meet her and Wayne Dyer before he passed, and Louise Hay, Marianne Williamson, all these. I mean, she's still alive, but um, how to really take our power back now from these old, outdated concepts of self, and
Mm-hmm.
not let the ego and the fear and what we think is possible. You don't even know what's possible. Every thought.
You,
Yeah, every thought is really a limitation. So
yeah,
how do we
you
lead with
helped me bring
love? And
that awareness up, was that it was my own limitations of the programs that were running, and some of them weren't even mine. Um, and yeah.
well, oftentimes we're just like a vessel for pure consciousness, and then we have all of our parents, ideas, traumas, ancestral karma. It goes back way back. It can go way back. I
Yeah, it
discovered.
does. We've had conversations off camera about that.
Wow, this is my grandmother's stuff. Oh, look, who knows about this? Like, wow. So a lot of it is or social programming, or the patriarchy. You got to hustle. You got to do this. You got to do that. In our family, money doesn't grow on trees. All these old ass stories. Well, I decided I'm going to be a black sheep in my family. So first millionaire in my family. I'm thrilled to celebrate if there's another one that wants to come along, but so far it's just been me. And I think it takes quite a lot of courage, and courage is one thing, but purpose is another. Right? It's really scary to launch a movement. I launch movement makers. My clients are ballers. I mean, and I've had now 15 years the blessing of like watching them grow. Many of them start in my program to build that solid foundation and the mindset, and they just build on those habits. They continue investing in themselves. They're now multimillionaires. They have publishing companies. They have their own television shows. I mean, it's wild to see. And so when you're talking about like, wow, your program was so valuable, I was thinking like, how do I even put a value on it? Because there was over 1,500 women that came through that mastermind program, the 10K and 30-day program, over the course of 10 years.
Yes.
And now to see, like, let's just say maybe half of them are still out there just crushing it.
Well,
How many people they impact, it's beyond calculation.
You give that solid foundation. Like anytime something did not work for me or wasn't in alignment, I know ultimately it was me at the end of the day, not having the clarity, because thank God for human design and astrology. I now can kind of understand that at a deeper level. But the knowledge that you have provided just with the mindset, the self-worth, the empowerment, that can be reused in multiple different things that you're going to be building, and the movements that we're here to set, in the future. And you also provided really valuable information as it pertains to like the marketing and the different, how that works and how to utilize all the things together, because it's not just one thing. It's multiple different areas that ties to give you that solid foundation for you to build upon and either rebuild, because I've had moments where I've tore everything down. I know you have too, and then started all over, but you still had that solid foundation.
I think I just made a video the other day when I was leaving Denver. I was so freaking fired up after this rad ski trip. I'm going to shoot a video in the car while I'm waiting. And, I was like, had to drop the rental car off. And I was like, I got a couple hours before my flight. Let's hit go on the video. And here it comes. And I was really talking about that. It doesn't matter. So many people go out there and they buy these bright shine. I'm going to buy a Pinterest course. I'm going to buy a Facebook ads course. It doesn't matter what course you buy. A lot of people just buy these little courses so that they feel better in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But unless it's safe for you to be that visible, to have that money, to whatever it is, to have this partner, to live over here, to travel, if it's not safe for you, you're either not going to start the course, or you're not going to finish the course, or procrastinate, or start 10,000 different things. Doesn't matter. And the opposite, so everything is duality, right? Everything is, the flip side is when you create this state of, I already have it, I already am this. We're really talking about, okay, we know ask, believe, receive, law of attraction, but how do you actually believe? Ooh, how do you actually impress the subconscious mind? Not just sometimes, all the time.
Yes.
And when you create that state or that safety, that it's okay for you to be this, when you own it, when you own your value, and you're talking about human design and astrology, I've got Chiron in the 12th house with Mars there, with Aries there, which is it's the warrior in the 12th house, which is like the hidden, unseen, breaking the karmic loop, addiction. Let's peek under the hood and see what we find. Like, this is exciting for me. Isn't that scary? People come to me with these radical stories about unbelievable things all the time. A lot of people talk to me about death. It doesn't phase me. Like you can't phase me. It's I don't know why. That's just the way it is. Maybe because I have this Chiron, this wounded healer in the 12th house, and I also am a Taurus rising, which is really all about self-worth. So
Yes.
I help a lot of women really own their value and package it. And then now with the human design, we've had a few conversations. Jenna are like, woo, it's really rad to say like, oh, you're a projector. Oh, you're a generator. Oh, I have a few friends who are reflectors, which is really rare, or manifesting generators, and say, okay, this is actually how what aligns with your natural energy as a way of marketing and selling yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
that's been really fascinating. I love human design, gene keys. I've
I haven't
got,
quite gotten into Gene Keys
oh my
fully
God, you
yet,
need
but
to.
oh, I know I need to.
Oh,
But I know you're a 4-1 manifesting generator, and I'm a 5
sacral.
one.
I'm a sacral generator.
You're a sacral generator. I'm a 5-1 manifester, and I can recognize the one energy in both of us because one, the reason I love talking to you is because you are so open to talking about multiple different things. And with that one side, you've investigated
Oh shit.
multiple different things. So you're
That's
a
all I do. I
yeah,
live in the
that's all I
mountains and I
do.
research all day long. Leave me alone. I'm researching. What do you want from me? Leave me alone. I'm creating something. I'm researching. And then the ones were really fueled by insecurity. That's what makes us research. And then we figure it out. We figure out the solid foundation. And the 4 is it's bringing heart to business. It's the tribe. It's
Mm-hmm.
leadership. It's very networking leadership. And so then okay, hey, I figured it out. Here's what it is. I'm here to influence my tribe.
Mm-hmm.
The
And you
5,
definitely do that.
the 5 for you is more like everybody in the world, this is terrible or this is amazing.
Yes.
You know.
And two reactions out of that. Oh my God, I agree. And get out the pitchforks and
Well,
no.
here's the thing I also learned about 4s and 5s. We bring on the most freaking believable projections from people. And that's what it is. It's a project. People get super triggered
Yes.
and they
Yes.
project all their stuff onto me. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. So I just ask questions now whenever people,
I
say nasty things. I'm like, oh,
I had that awareness too. And I'm also self-aware to know that whatever is being projected upon me has nothing to do with me. That's
that's
the
it.
internal reality happening in them. But because I'm also intuitive, I can read that projection. And for many, 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 many years, I would take that on personally. And I'm defined solar plex. So emotional wave, up and down, self-worth, all of that all started to compile into my shadow work. But now that I have that awareness that it's not me, but I can read the projection, it is very eye-opening to see one where humanity is because you can kind of recognize the patterns with people. Like it'll be like the similar energy, similar projection. And it also helps, with working with other people, what's really going on because you can read what people's truths are through the energy that they're kind of putting out, like what storm is happening inside, because I think there's always a storm in some way, shape, or form that's coming out for us to heal. That's one of the things we're here to do. Um, but
Well, there's
yeah,
no escaping embodiment, that's for sure.
no,
I
no,
mean, your
there's
energy is
not.
going to introduce you 10,000 years before you ever walk in a room.
Yes.
So nobody can really escape. I don't know if anybody can really escape doing their trauma work. I mean, maybe people die, because they just keep going or keep pushing or forcing. I
Hmm.
don't think you can, your nervous system, your body talks, right? It's going to come and let you know.
Excellent book is the Metaphysical Anatomy book. So that talks about, any type of ailment that you have. You can look at the metaphysical reason for that. And a lot of mine that have been coming up recently I'll check it out and what it is. And a repeat thing that I keep getting is suppressed anger. Well, manifester told to suppress her anger. Had to go to anger management when I was young. And so I learned ways to suppress it instead of like, learning healthy ways to release it or look at it as a signpost that something's out of a line in my aura or in my area. And when I recognized that, I was like, okay, that makes so much sense. So many dots connected because I'm not, releasing the energy. It is eventually manifesting in an ailment. And that could be like fatigue,
Yeah.
liver issues, acne, whatever.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
I like Louise Hay's book too. You Can Heal Your Life. I always go back to that whenever something happens. It's this in a similar vein. Um, what emotional, correlation. When I when I first really started diving into trauma, it was my neck. So for 4 years in a row, every spring, funny enough, I got married in the spring. My neck would blow out, and when I mean blow out, it was like I thought, first of all, I went to and I did something at CrossFit, and I would be walking like 90-degree angle like an old lady, popping ibuprofen every 3 hours, had to lie down flat on my, and still running a multi-million-dollar business and married to my, ex-husband with raising his 3 children, like busy, busy, busy life. And finally I decided, okay, I think there's something to this. I think I better take a look at this. And the neck is actually about creative self-expression.
Hmm.
And so began my journey into, when ones are the yang, it's the creative spark. It's creativity that is not to be managed. It's creativity for the sheer sake of shits and giggles creativity, man. Don't make me manage it. Here it is, just coming in hot. And that was one of my biggest, it wasn't a regret. It was like a requirement that I didn't know because I'm a generator. I was really frustrated. I was like, man, I made millions of dollars helping all these people. I should be able to have creative time and space. And so I started cultivating that space and started dancing in the kitchen in the morning. I started doing photo shoots and eventually really, really getting into what happens when we tap into that creative flow.
Oh, yeah.
Like, where does creativity come from and what is it here to express? Huh. And even to the point, like talking about coaches and consultants, we're talking about leaders. Okay. I've got 31 in my Pearl and also in my community, which, if you look into Gene Keys, is your Pearl is your prosperity. In the 31, it's about leadership. It's about the shadow is arrogance. Okay, let me tell you what. I've always got a couple just one fingernail of arrogance. For sales, it's confidence, but you can easily that was arrogance. Okay, whoa, whoa, whoa. But just a fingernail. You get and it goes through, leadership and humility. So it's kind of leadership through humility and a lot of language,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of language. That's the 31. So it's important to know, like, it's important to look at these things because when you can accept your shadows, you're like, oh, that's part of it. And the other one is superabundance. 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 I don't know anybody. There's very few people I meet that, whose companies have made $400,000 a month in sales. I mean, very few people. People I don't meet a lot of people like that every day. Now, I've met some people that are even way more successful. And I think it's so interesting the more of these readings I do with entrepreneurs, how number one, it's all in there. Number two, they often have the same keys, just in different places, different
Mm-hmm.
placements, you know?
Yes.
Or I'll get like three of the same incarnation crosses. Boom, boom, boom. It's wild in a row. I'm like, I guess I'm supposed to learn this one. Um, Four of my clients right now have the same incarnation cross, and so does I know my sister has it too. They have the same 52 and 58. And anyway, I'm like, what's going on here? Why are these people are like, what is this about? It's so I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated by psychology and ways to know thyself.
Yes, me too. That's a
Uh,
big thing I investigate is just human behavior, how we react. And that's why I really loved human design because I'm a Pisces anyway. So I love being in the deeper realms and being inside of myself is something I'm very familiar with. But knowing myself and watching in your experiment has been amazing. And we, like you said earlier, we are in a world of duality. We have both aspects in ourselves. And sometimes that the way that we react or express it, we may look down upon it, but when you dive deep into the genetics of what's really ticking inside, it can bring so much awareness into your healing. Um, like I said, I haven't gotten into the gene keys. I know in my incarnation cross, I'm the left angle of Dominion. Gate 45 is really big in my incarnation cross. And the shadow aspect of 45 is that it can be controlling. And I noticed that it's not controlling on the outside, but when it is my tribe, like the household, when was in a relationship, I can get controlling with how the household is run. That's what my incarnation cross does. That's what that gate specifically does, is to do that. But how I was expressing it could come across in an unhealthy manner. But now that I'm aware of it, I can feel the energy coming up and I can recognize it and I cannot, I can navigate through it a little bit better. But you're right. As soon as I started looking into my astrology and my human design, I'm like, it's all right there. And a lot of the stuff that I've recognized too was, why if you're an entrepreneur listening to this and you haven't quite gotten to where you want to be in your journey, it is because of this, you may have self-doubt of the stuff that your intuition is saying, where you want to lead. But when you look at it black and white, it's really a huge confirmation that this is what you were
Confirmation.
born and put on this planet to do. And we just need to step out of our own way to allow the creative expression to express itself and what it came down here to do.
Yeah. Um, I have, I love how you shared about, it's like, oh, we could give our power away to, the external world, family members, friends who are like, you should be more accommodating. And you're like, nah, this controlling how the house, this is part of my thing, man. This is right in here. Look at it. So for me, I'm an opportunistic investigator for one, but I'm also juxtaposed. And a juxtaposition is only 3% of the population. It's so you're a left angle, there's a right
Right.
angle, and then there's a juxtaposition. Juxtaposition is a freight train. It's
Yes.
like, if you look at like left angles, and there's no good or bad, okay? So left angles for you guys clean up karma and you do things together with everybody. You need people to fulfill your destiny. Right angles do not. They're here bumping their head up against the wall, trial and error, they're way through life. They create karma. Nothing, there's no good or bad. Okay. There's just let's all
Right.
love ourselves for what the heck we are. Okay. And then there's the juxtaposition, which is like, all aboard, left angles, right angles in the line. Here's where we're going, humanity. I've already seen it. It's visionary. It's a freight train. You ever try and stop a freight train? Good effing luck. And so many, let's say my sister, my ex-husband, or people that really, really know me be like, oh my God, Vanessa, it's Vanessa's way or the highway. And I'd be like, man, am I just an uncompromising bitch? Like, is there like I start to doubt myself, right? Like, oh boy, maybe no, I'm a juxtaposition. I'm not, and I don't
Right.
care how it happens. I'm not concerned with the how, man. I'm detached, but I've already seen it, and that's where we're going. That's what's happening. And sometimes when I get visions, burp, fart, digest, oh my God, this is gonna be a lot of work. Okay, God, I surrender. You got me for life. Oh, I will do it. Whine, bitch, moan, complain. Brr. And then I do it, and then movements get launched. So it's important to know these things about yourself. For me, it was revelatory, and it just keeps becoming more and more magical. Um, I'm actually running a course right now called Standards in Serenity, looking at our gene key profiles and how we can awaken our purpose, our Venus sequence, which is about our attraction, our heart chakra, and then
Mm,
our pearl, which is our prosperity. And it's what I love about it is that we can even look at the duality of like human design is very masculine, and Gene Keys is more of a feminine, mystical,
yeah.
archetypal, bit of a softer. But to me, they're fabulous. I love both of them. Just like I love my feminine and my masculine. You know what I mean? Like you need both. The creative act is actually a masculine, it's an act, it's the action. Yes, masculine is discernment, it's protection, but it's also the action. Because there's so much talk out there about feminine this, oh, being your feminine. You need both, man.
You
You know what
do.
I mean? You can't just lie there all day in your feminine knowing and being and beauty, and you need both. Um, and I love having these conversations around, with other entrepreneurs, helping them kind of pinpoint, like you said, find the confirmation in the charts and really helping them find that alignment. Because when I used to call this the Tony Robbins syndrome, like who am I to be fabulous, awesome, gorgeous. It's like you don't need to be Tony Robbins, you're going to be the most awesome you.
Yes, that's all it is, guys,
All
is
it is.
just being the most awesome you. And then that radiates. A lot of my clients that I work with in the business aspect, and what I've learned on my journey was like even the coaching program that I back in the day when I was trying to launch, I also had a freelance business where I was doing all the tech work. And God kept bringing me clients for that. But that I kept, no, no, I don't want to do that because I'm supposed to be doing this. But as soon as I let go, it did. The freelancing Unity Works agency became exactly what I wanted because I get clients without even having to advertise, which is perfect for a manifester. I don't have to keep up with the social media and constantly doing this. And when I realized that, I was like, oh, and then I can coach clients through this because they need consulting. So it just kind of like it all aligns. But I had to let go and I had to surrender and I had to learn about me and I had to really step into my strategy and authority, which I'm still learning how to do. And that's another reason why I loved your program because your marketing is different than what a lot of other people are teaching out there because we're moving in a time where your frequency is going to do everything in your marketing for you. People are going to know through your energy if you're being authentic or even if you're working it yourself. It does the Tony Robbins syndrome. I got stuck on that too,
Yeah,
but I
everybody
also
does.
yeah,
I
I
got stuck on
also
it too in the beginning. Everybody goes through the
it's
imposter syndrome, the Tony Robbins, the who am I, owning your value.
yep.
Like in the end of the day, even if you look at building wealth, what good is having millions of dollars if you're so stressed out that you can't even sit down for a minute and enjoy it? Okay, so what's really valuable? I discovered creativity super, like that's a non-negotiable, man. Rebuilt my entire life. You're seeing here, this is my art desk.
I love your art that you put out.
Oh, thank you. I have a whole art studio, a whole art garage. My whole house is an art studio. Photo shoots. This is a setup here for podcasts. My garden is another art studio. I mean, and I realized once I embrace that, again, that's in my chart. Once I embrace that, that's where I catch all these rad ideas. Oh, when I'm in the creative flow,
Mm-hmm.
not hustling around doing this or doing that. I like what you said about, hey, Vanessa, your program's so rad because the marketing is different. My marketing is really all about authentic marketing.
It is.
And that was my first book, From Bankrupt to 900 Day. It was about authenticity being the new currency in life and business. And I swear a lot. I don't care. I don't need other people's approval of me. I mean, I don't know what speaks more volumes in terms of being confident and loving yourself when you know where love comes from. It's inside you. It's not out there. It's not in that person. It's not in that money. It's not,
It's
to really
here.
be the vibration of love. You're right. Marketing can't make that happen. It's just going to amplify whatever you're putting out there.
Yeah, that's another reason why I gravitated towards you is because you just, you know, I can't remember if it was in one of the coaching programs or in one of your videos you talked about your book and how it had spelling errors. And you're like, nope, nope, gonna go with it. Don't care. And that was the thing that I had to break through. The job that I got let go of in 2019, I worked for a country club and I did all their marketing and their newsletter. And I had to put it together so I wasn't the proofreader. There were other people that were doing proofreading, but I would skim it because I would miss words or it was there, or I'm not good at grammar or any of that. I ended up getting let go. It was one of the reasons. And so the spelling thing, and I had trauma when I was younger in my second grade over spelling and language arts. When you said that, I was like, oh, it's really just a mindset,
It's,
you
and
know?
you know that song? Hoo, 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 hoo. Illusion. Hoo, hoo.
Yes,
Okay. It's just an illusion. This whole world is a freaking illusion, man. It's
it
the
really
mind.
is.
It's the reflection of our thoughts and beliefs and concepts of ourselves and about life that is reflecting in everybody we meet. You're meeting yourself in there is nobody else out there. It's God seeing God. You're either going to meet that, you're going to celebrate that reflection, you're going to take something from it, meaning like, ooh, if you're getting triggered, whoa, hey, hey, what the heck's that about? And know how to integrate that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nobody else out there but you seeing you all day long. And I was just making a video. Dad was talking about that in the car. Okay. In my video, ranting, swearing away about, I remember I had my first business manager that I ever hired to come to my house and teach me Google Drive like I was a 2-year-old because I could not figure this out. So come to my house every Tuesday. She was a lovely woman. I'm still great friends with this woman. But she looked at me and I said, listen, I'm going to scale this business to $100,000 a month. And I'm a big fan of advertising because I'm not interested in, having an algorithm dictate my freaking day, or like,
Yeah,
oh,
right. I know. I
you
can't
got to
stand
pump
the
out creativity every
algorithm.
day. It's like, no, 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 no. Right. And if I can invest $1 and make 5 or 10 or 20 back, that's a good deal for me. I'll nail it and scale it all day long. Nail it and scale it. Okay. That's why I love ads because most of my social media is just for like, hey, y'all, this is what I'm up to. Like, look at my rad lifestyle. This is my bikini business lifestyle. This is me skiing on a mountain. This is me, in my garden with my big ass flowers. Like, and I think that's, social media is great for that. I'm a big fan of ads anyways. Anyways, told my business manager, I'm gonna, scale this to $100,000 a month. And she said, oh no, you cannot. Look at your website. There's all these broken links and your book has all these spelling mistakes. And I was like, ooh, do not challenge me. It has nothing to do with that. A business is very simple. It is the right offer to the right audience at a profit. The end. That's it. And when
Simple.
you can get granular on all of those processes, which ones we know a lot of shit about a lot of shit, man. We go real deep on a lot of things. And you can, pick those apart. Like, do you have a sales attraction system that's turning those, that audience into a lead and a buyer? Most people have just fancy pants websites that don't do anything. They don't have the traffic or they don't know what they're selling. They don't actually own the value of what they're actually selling.
Yeah.
And that goes back to fear and who am I and the trauma and da 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 da. So it's really a lot of mindset work. Anyways, my book and my business did go on to hit that $100,000 a month and 200,000 and 300,000, $400,000 a month goal. And I left all the spelling mistakes in the book just so people wouldn't get disappointed. There you go. Find something to criticize. People love it. People love it. Listen, I have an aunt. I got really triggered and pissed off at this because I sent out an email. It was a damn good email, but I sent it so fast that there was a spelling mistake right in the headline, a big one. And she messages me, and I got pissed off for a second. And then I thought, Vanessa, you should just hire her because she's really good at this. But just a reflection of her own self-criticism and self-judgment. I have so many people. I'm almost to the point where I'm going to send out emails on purpose with a lousy headline because they get a better open rate, man. I got like a 33% open rate on my email list, but like a 38% open rate when there's a spelling mistake in the headline. WTF, right? Like, oh my gosh. But people, this is like when you look at humanity, are you focusing on what's right in your life? Or are you focusing on what's wrong? I mean,
Yeah,
that's a simple one.
that's what I noticed, stuff like that. Because again, I'm not an expert speller, and language arts went over my head. Sometimes when I've sent out, people have come back with, recognizing the spelling error, but they don't mention anything about what was written, any of the information. And I'm like, okay, so I know what your reticular activating system is hyper aware of right now, focusing on spelling or whatever it is. So, but I love how you switched it around with your aunt saying, "Oh, well, maybe I need to hire this person." Because they're really good at doing that.
Well, it was really such a beautiful instance. Um, because it was so funny. The email itself was a link to a podcast that had to do about not giving an F about, creating for the sake of, oh, look, I created it. It's good. It's valuable because it's done. I didn't
Hmm.
do it for you. I didn't do it
Yeah.
for anybody else. I didn't do it for your approval. I did it for me because it was channeling through and I said, give it expression. Good, valuable, amazing. After you make a couple $1 million, I'm going to tell you something. It becomes making money kind of becomes where's the edge? Okay, where's the
Where's
edge? I get bored. Let me tell you right now, I can do anything. And when I tell you I can do anything I set my mind to, I mean anything. And I don't have to prove that anymore.
No, I think you've got a really excellent track record on that. And I've seen you do it since, I mean, I started following you into 2019. I've seen you do it multiple times with different things.
And teach thousands of women. This is more housewives, turn more housewives. I didn't turn these housewives into millionaires. They invested in themselves and they not cheap, but my programs not cheap. It's not cheap to work with me, but you're gonna make a shit ton of money. You're
That
gonna
was the
change the whole
biggest value you gave me. That was my first ever
see?
biggest investment I had ever made in my entire life. And outside of the information I learned inside of the program, the biggest takeaway was that I was worth it.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point of having a high ticket program where people invested themselves at a high level. It's not
Mhm.
for you, the coach, it's so they take themselves seriously.
Yes,
Look at you just show up
nothing
and
like
you're gonna be
lighting a
like,
fire underneath your ass.
dang, I'm gonna apply this. But so thank you. And I get kind of bored. I'm gonna do something new. So what's the new edge, and what is this? And this is why I love art because I'm like, oh my God, do I keep going? Oh my God, but I've never tried this before. But so let's see what happens if we put this color. Wow, oh my God, it's even better. Or sometimes I'm like, wipe that off. That's terrible. You just bombed that thing, you destroyed it. Then I come back a day later, I'm like, let's put white around the edge. Let's just play. Let's just sit and express with no attachment. Woo! That's why I'm super stoked. I work with a lot of I work with a lot of two very different people, like high level leadership baller, maybe already made millions of dollars, maybe doesn't have to make millions of dollars,
Hmm.
wealthy, but creatively blocked or mindset issues, or not happy with their life or, fear, different things or wanting to rebuild their business, like Erica, for example, she came to work with me. She's like, I hate my whole team. I hate them all. I was like, well, burn them all down and start doing this. She was like, okay, boom. I made $70,000 this month. I love my business. She's on fire, Erica. A lot of so people they're already there and they just want to reinvent themselves. And then other entrepreneurs who are like, can you show me how to make my first 10 grand? Like, can somebody actually show me what the heck is goony goo goo and
Hmm.
what's going on inside me that I have been investing and trying, and it doesn't work, and I don't know why. So beginners as well, or people that are leaving their jobs and they're like, okay, I know I'm a baller at my job, but when you're selling coaching consulting, you're selling yourself, man. You're not out there
You
selling a
are.
mop or a house or a car. It's yourself. It's your own concept of yourself. It's your value, your story, your ability, your skills. And now we're getting into the semantics of sales. Most people don't have to learn sales because they're out working jobs for people that are selling you on what the value of your time is worth. Oh my God, don't get me started. I get so riled up. So the sales and a lot of people hate talking about sales. I fucking love sales, man. Guess what? Nothing happens until the sale is made. Nothing, no
It's
transformation.
the art of transformation.
That's right there. It's selling.
I have it written up on my board. Sales is the art of transformation, which is pure alchemy. I mean, in that moment. And if you take being in that situation and you're not selling something, a lot of people do that in their conversations without them even knowing about it, just through convincing others of whatever their beliefs are, or whatever they're transforming another person's belief to get them to see in a different perception. But then because I've watched your sales course many times, that was something that I struggled with. I was either giving them all the information on the call, all sorts of different things. But yeah, when I recognize that, okay, I do this in regular conversations, why do I get all this weird vibe when I do get on a sales call? That goes back to your mindset and what's coming up, what's triggering. And a lot of mine was not valuing my worth, oh, they're not going to want to pay this price, or I can't say this certain things, or whatever comes up in the head.
Yeah. People have a lot of stuff around sales. The used car salesman, you're owning your value because you're not selling. And you also have to understand what you're talking to, what you're dealing with. You're dealing with
Mm-hmm.
an ego. You're not dealing with a person or a human being. At that point, when the sale actually starts, after you let them know the price, now the objection handling or whatever you want to talk about, don't know. Now you're dealing with an ego and a protective mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't understand that. That's why so many of my clients have made just leaps and bounds with their sales, because I teach people about unhooking yourself, your own concepts of self from the ego. You want to think of yourself like an egg. Okay. And the eggshell, what happens, God comes around as I'm going to crack this egg and make a souffle, an award-winning souffle. Only you don't know what the heck is going on. When I say we're like the orange part of the egg, right? Hang on to
Mm-hmm.
the eggshell. Wait a minute. Don't let go of it. Wait, what's happening? You don't need the eggshell. You're going to evolve into something else. You got to freaking crack the egg and throw away the shell, or put it in your garden to nourish your flowers or something. But this is what everyone's doing all day long, saying they want to become a millionaire, saying they want more freedom, saying they want to take their kids traveling, saying they want to heal themselves of all the bullshit excuses that they tell themselves, the reason why they don't have a fulfilling life, or don't really go
Mm-hmm.
after their goals or their dreams, or procrastinate, or don't ever really finish the things they start, or on and on and on it goes. I've been working on my book for 5 years. Okay, whatever. Is understanding that ego is what doesn't want to be deleted, man. It wants
No.
to keep you safe, and it wants to control, and it wants love and approval. So how do we this is why my program was the things that I teach my clients, whether it's in a program or one-on-one or at a retreat, or now in these digital courses. That's been my, hey, Vanessa, you're a baller. You love teaching. So redesign your business, teach twice a week. You're not going to manage freaking 30 people. Oh my God. Oh my God, man. Let me tell you something. I had 9 salespeople, a team of administrators, amazing people. Listen, my team, amazing freaking people.
Mhm.
Amazing. And guess what? I don't want to fucking manage people. I'm an artist. Leave me alone, man. I'm not here to babysit people. This is the most important thing that I can teach really high level leaders. Just because you can doesn't mean you have to or you should. I am, I
Yes.
can. When you really understand mindset, I am, I can, and I don't fucking have to. I don't have to. I don't. And if you're a conscious creator and you're really embodying and really living very much about integrity. I think ones are maybe very much about like, I got to figure it out here. And then when I got it, I'm going to share it all with you all.
Yes.
It's very much about integrity. I'm here to create my own system. And when you really get that, you can create anything.
Yes. I love that. You're exactly right about the egg and
Not because I can't, it's because I
yeah.
simply don't want to. And by the way, I don't
Yes.
do any free sales calls. Never. Think about this. Think about this. People want to get on the phone with me and get access to my 15 years of experience
Mm-hmm.
and the thousands of women whose lives have been transformed. Just one idea, you're all just one nugget away from a completely different life. You're going to pay me $1,000 to get on the phone with me, or I'm not talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
The end. I don't care. Go buy my book. It's $20 on Amazon. Go watch my videos on YouTube. Knock yourself out. You want to talk to me? It costs you $1,000 to get in the gate. That's just step one. I'm okay with that. People get super triggered. I don't care. But think about this, okay? And let's talk about sales and really talk about sales, okay? Because there's two things happening
Yes.
here. Number one, there is the law of prosperity, which is you give before you get. Now, in that case, you could look at a sales call as I'm giving my time, okay? And I'm giving my time, and I may have an opportunity of enrolling this client if it's a win-win. If it's
Correct. Yes.
if it's a right fit, if I feel like this person, if I can help them, if they want the help, if they can afford the help, if it's a win-win, we may work something out and a deal. Okay, cool. Now, when you really, really, really look at this though, what does that say about the value of your fucking time? When people can no show on you, oh, they're going to say, go build a better funnel. I have. It means you don't talk to me unless you pay me. Now, you're talking to me right now because you were a client of mine and you invited me onto your podcast. And I'm like, absolutely. I love you. I love all my clients. They become soul sisters. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My clients become freaking, you don't go through a radical transformation like this and then just like part ways. This is conscious expansion and evolution on hyperdrive. Okay. You change your whole freaking life. It's not just a fucking marketing sales program. Although
Right.
you're going to learn that too. So think about this though. You're giving people an opportunity to no show on you. They're going to say, oh, but build a better funnel. No, I'm not interested in that. And the other thing that I noticed is people get on the phone with me. They're like, they're shell shocked. They're like, they're starstruck talking to Vanessa Simpkins. Oh my God. Da, da, da. I don't care. Are you going to take yourself seriously? Are you going to do something? Are you going to commit? Are you going to sit here and blow smoke up my ass? Fuck off. No, I'm going to be serious. I'm going to be a little bit harsh about this because there's other ways to do it, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Much better ways to protect your time. And at this stage of the game, I'd much rather be suntanning naked in my backyard. That's why I was late for this meeting. I was like, shit, Jen, I'm 7 minutes late. And I'm so happy when she introduced the podcast. She's like, a balanced living. I'm like, well, there you go. I'd much
It
rather
is.
be, yeah, I'd much rather be tanned and calm and peaceful in my body and love myself and respect myself and be 7 minutes late for a podcast because I'm outside getting a suntan because it's been raining for 2 days and the sun came out and I'm like, oh, like what leads our lives? What really leads your life? So anyways, there's so many people out there talking about sales and
Mm-hmm.
funnels and this is the best and that's the, but you know what? It all works. It all works. Social media, free social media works. Doing reels, it works. TikTok works. Paid ads work. Speaking works. Webinars work. Everything works. You just got to
Mm-hmm.
figure out what works for you.
Yes. Yes.
That's it. That's really what I'm
Man,
really that's the lever that I'm really interested in working with. It's the smallest hinge that opens the widest door. Because you can follow all these dang gurus out there and they're going to tell you, "Yeah, this is the best funnel." Fuck off, man. Have you looked at my human design? Have you looked at my astrology? You even know who you're talking to? Some bro marketing. Fuck off, man. And a lot of these people, they scale, scale, scale. It's like, oh yeah, scale, but like, what are you scaling for and to? And then you're going to manage those people. And you know what happens when you have a sales team of 9 people? Can I tell you what happens? 'Cause I'll tell you.
Yes, please do. I cannot imagine.
First of all, the first thing in building a really successful business as a coach means that you got to feel really, really good about you, and you got to feel
Mhm.
really, really good about what you're selling.
Yeah.
If you don't, ain't
Oh,
no
it's
freaking way you're going to get out there and market yourself and sell yourself. So that mindset is number one. And the clarity is number one. That's just you and you. You're your own solo thing. Nothing wrong with that. Everyone gets started somewhere. When you start building a sales team, they got to feel really, really good about themselves. So now you're training, you're teaching people that same mindset, and they got to feel really, really good about you because they're selling your stuff.
and you did, I will say this, you did an excellent job with your sales team
I did. It was so
because
fun.
I had been on 2 calls that were actually your previous clients that I had no idea that they had a $10,000 program, and I was one that I needed to wait for. But when I got on the phone, I think I came across you. You popped up on a YouTube. I resonated so much. Something inside was pulling me towards you. Ended up on the call, and before I even knew, like towards the end, I didn't even hesitate at the price. I knew at that moment that that is something that I needed to invest in, because what was brought out in that one call was such an awareness of stuff that it didn't happen on other calls. Like I didn't quite look at it black and white. And I
Yeah.
didn't know where the money was going to come from at the time, but I
You made the
said,
decision and you started becoming it started the freaking seed in you. And then once you experience that, you can't say, shit, she was lying, because you became a conscious creator, right? It's the
I
proof is
did.
even before you paid a freaking cent.
Yes, my whole entire life, like even my first car, thinking about spending $10,000 on a car, like $25,000, like, oh my God, where am I going to get the money? And I did. I manifested it in less than a week. I had paid everything off. And that was another awareness. Like before I even got into your program, it was an awareness of, oh my gosh, I have this power inside of me that once I make the decision and I take action on that decision with the confidence that this is what I'm going to do, like there's no doubts, I'm moving forward. Boom, 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 boom. It's like lines up.
And this is the I'm a conscious creator process. It's
Mhm.
teaching people how their mind works so that their mind doesn't use them.
Yeah, yeah.
And really, you can create just
Yeah.
about anything. And thank you, with the sales team, you know, they, I love my sales team. I still talk to one of the people. I mean, I had a lot of salespeople come through, and I had so much fun with them. Listen, I forgot, fly them down to San Diego, rent a yacht with a fucking hot tub on the yacht. Let's go, girls. You hit your sales goals. Let's go. I mean, there's no way I could have hit a $400,000 a month goal without having a team behind me. I'm in that, doing that, selling high ticket coaching. Um, you can do that with digital courses, though. You can scale it and nail it and not have a sales team absolutely whatsoever, and have a machine doing the sales. And then on the
Yes.
other side, you can invite them to coach with you once or twice a week and just keep it lean and mean, which is kind of my MO now. I'm into the simple. And again, ones are really simple. We don't find them simple. Let's keep it simple, man. Keep it simple. And it's really fun having this conversation with you, Jen, because that's the number one course that I've been, getting ready to launch out here with paid ads, and just inviting more people, more spiritual and entrepreneurs into really that deep dive journey, that taking their power back now
Yes.
from the fear, from the ego. And then that's what I taught my sales team. So I taught my clients. This is You're not talking to a human being at that point. You're talking to an ego. And if you don't understand it, how are you going to talk to it?
Mm-hmm.
That's really the key, that maybe the biggest difference with my sales training. And I don't know. I don't know other people's sales stuff. It's been a long time since I mean, I studied like Jordan Belford's work. He was really years ago. He was really somebody that I looked up to in sales. I studied a lot of sales. I lived, breathed, and eat sales. I mean, like that mop job that I had was, I think, the best training ground for an entrepreneur, because we would be sent to a store with a little stage and we had to sell the ShamWow or the Ginsu knife or the Mr. Sticky lint remover and call all these people over to the booth and, ladies and gentlemen, in less than 2 minutes, we're handing out free gifts. And what the heck is that? And like engaging people. Then they would see the booth and be like, oh, no, this is a pitch. I'm out of here. So it's like having to deal with all these different moving objections, and every store was different. Every product was different. Every audience was different. So listen, I didn't get bored because it was different all the time, right? But that was the absolute best training for me to really understand, what engages people, what makes people buy, and
Hmm.
human behavior. And it's a good thing that I took that money and I invested it into starting my own business, because that company went bankrupt.
Did it eventually? I always wondered
Yeah, because a lot of
what
people are like, I
happened.
want to get in the mop job. Can you? I was like, they hear the story and they don't want to do their own thing. They want someone to do it for them. They want to,
Yes.
oh boy. I mean, there's a barf right there. You're not going to be one of my clients. That's for damn sure. But it's okay. There's a lot of people that, aren't entrepreneurs.
There's a reason why it's what, 10% of society actually makes it to being a successful entrepreneur.
Yeah,
And I
it's
mean,
okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
yeah,
It's not,
yeah,
it's not me. Trust me,
it
it's not
has,
me.
it has been the best tool and experience that I have had just in my awakening journey. I have learned so much about myself. I have, busted through myself, all sorts of different things, did healing all around it that I probably wouldn't have experienced if I didn't take the courage to step out into creating something for my own and offering the world, what I have to offer, what my gifts are. And I wouldn't change it for the world, but you really, when you step out into this journey, whatever it is you're doing, it is you breaking through you at the end of the day, and knowing how to handle the different things that are coming up inside of you that you may experience. And I love how you said that it's just you. Everything outside of you is just an expression of what's happening inside. So that goes with, if you are attracting certain type of clients. I mean, I did your exercise last year. Around October, I started to change a lot of things of what I was doing. And so I redid the exercise where calling in your clients. And I did
Hmm.
the chart of what I didn't want and what I wanted. And then this year, when I really just surrendered and let go, the clients that I'm getting are exactly what I put on the list of the affirmations that I say, which is wonderful because it started to make me recognize that because I'm shifting inside, that's what's starting to be, that's the experience that I'm now starting to create. Um, so yeah, whether it's sales, marketing, not valuing your worth, not knowing what to do, what is your purpose? I always kind of knew what my purpose was. But where I struggled, especially at the very beginning of your program, was that I knew that I was on a path to becoming a business coach in that form, but I had just started learning about how to do it online. So my self-worth of like teaching somebody something that I didn't quite have the experience yet underneath me, that's where I struggled. But now that it's been 4 years that I've been doing online, building things online, especially the tech side, I now have the experience that confidence comes in, and that definitely starts to reverberate out into the universe. So people see that without you even talking to them about it.
I'm so
So
celebrating you, Jen. Congratulations.
thank
Well,
you.
well earned. Wisdom is earned, lovers, not given, earned.
Yes, it is. It is. I love that. Most people don't recognize that. It is earned through life experience.
Yeah. And then we get to show up and put some pretty fierce boundaries around access to
Yes.
that earned wisdom. And if people
Yes.
can't or won't, well, it's okay. Again, it's a reflection of them. The most beautiful story I can share is from this aunt. We were talking about reflections. This is the most beautiful story I've ever, the most beautiful transformation, because I have this story in my head that, oh, my family doesn't see me. They are my family doesn't see me. I'm the black sheep. They're all like this. And so she made this, like, critical, judgmental, here's a critical, judgmental reflection coming at me. And I don't respond to it. It's whatever. I don't respond to it. She messages me back a few days later, and we had a most deep, profound conversation about her own healing gifts. And oh yeah, and we're all very psychic in my family, like
Mm.
psychic. And so her own judgments about that and fears. And I said, when we see ourselves, when we see ourselves, then other people can see us as well.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
until we see ourselves, people cannot see us.
Yes.
If we see ourselves with judgment, if we have so much judgment, it creates resistance on the gift, right? We won't have access to it. The acceptance is really a gateway that opens everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I even told her, I said, listen, I was really upset when you said, I was like, what's wrong with this freaking woman? It's a great email, man. Did you listen to the podcast? I mean, shit, there's good stuff in there. I told her, I said, then I thought to myself, maybe I should hire her to help me proofread on my sales page because I write a lot of stuff. I write a lot of sales stuff. And she laughed, but we had such a beautiful conversation. And she's like, I'm telling you this story, Vanessa. I'm not ready yet to go on your podcast, but I want you to help me with the story. And I was like, she sees me now. How fascinating.
I love that.
How fascinating. So yeah, it's doing the inner work, worth it. Strapping your titties on tight and building the funnels, also worth it. And I think it takes both, because if you don't have the mindset or the concepts of yourself on straight, you're not going to take that action. You're not going to, you know what I mean? You're not going to follow through. But if you do have that, hey, this is happening, it's like it blows the door off of your resistance. This is what the Take Your Power Back Now book is really about, how to overcome the resistance to creating a life that you love. What is resistance? Where does it come from? And how do you deal with it? And to take yourself off that protective automatic, because then phew, sky is the limits, lover. Sky is the limit. You can create anything you want.
Love that. Truly inspirational. And I think we covered a lot of wonderful nuggets in this podcast. Is there anything that you would like to add? And we can go ahead and let's see. We've been on a little bit over an hour. Do you have anything else you'd like to? I love the flow that just transpired during this.
Yes, I'm a big one also on like creative flow. I don't think there's anything else unless you have a specific question. If you want to find out more about my work, check out takeyourpowerbacknow.com. Vanessa Simpkins, or takeyourpowerbacknow.com on YouTube. There's so many YouTube videos. Oh my God. But the
Filled
website,
and I love that you can go all the way back to the start of Vanessa's journey
oh my God.
and watch the transformation. And I'm going to tell you guys this because I have gone through your whole YouTube. I've watched several videos over and over again. Even the stuff in the very beginning when you did the law of attraction challenge, that stuff is still beneficial to today. I will tell you that you can actually see the transformation happen through your own eyes, as well as you've been you've shared extra wisdom, but your message really has been consistent through the core of your journey. And that is that I know you're speaking from integrity, because if you weren't, that vibration being consistent with your purpose and what you're trying to offer women out in the world, that would have deviated a little bit. But all the links to find Vanessa are definitely going to be in the description. So wherever you are listening to this, make sure to check that out. And thank you so much. I've been wanting to do this podcast for quite some time and have you on. I knew it was going to happen. I know it all had to happen on divine timing.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you for having me. It's been so wonderful to collaborate.
Yes, thank you. All right, guys. Thank you for joining. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share this show out. And we will see you in the next episode. Bye now. Thank you for tuning into The Balanced Visionary. I hope this episode has brought you valuable insights and inspiration. If it resonated with you and you feel like you can light up someone else's day too, please take a moment to screenshot, share, and tag me on Instagram. I love seeing your posts and getting to know you better on a personal level. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. Join us next time as we continue our journey towards aligning ambition with soulful success. Until then, keep balancing, keep dreaming, and I'll see you in our next visionary encounter.